New place, but the same hunt for value. In my top 10 dive watches roundup earlier in the year, I featured an obscure piece that seemingly nobody had heard of. To be honest, until a commenter mentioned it in January, I didn't know the brand existed myself. I heeded their words, headed to the WatchShop website, and first laid eyes on the Depth Charge automatic diver. While I disagree with the notion that it blew the significantly cheaper field watch in that video out of the water, it did seem fairly stacked in the specification department, with an advertised 200 meters of water resistance, a Seiko automatic movement, and sapphire crystal, among other things. Additionally, the design was one I hadn't seen elsewhere, so I duly picked one up for the ridiculously low discounted price of just £107.40. Those are AliExpress rivaling specifications at AliExpress rivaling prices, given the latest taxes on UK imports. So what exactly did this Depth Charge have in store for me? Well, given that it featured in a top 10 list, I think you can guess where this is headed. The watch is affiliate linked in the video description. Let's get into it. The watch arrived in very substantial cuboid packaging, emblazoned with the Depth Charge logo. For those unaware, Depth Charge is a brand created by WatchShop, which is the UK's largest watch retailer. As far as I know, these are manufactured by some sort of third-party contractor, possibly Rotary, but don't quote me on that. Either way, it's very solid packaging for a watch at this price, and thankfully, they haven't wasted money here whilst skimping on the watch itself. This diver has full 316L stainless steel construction, paired with a well-integrated solid link steel bracelet that includes solid end links and a milled clasp with a diver's extension to boot. While this is comfortable and excellent overall, the current iteration has a design flaw that prevents the clasp from clicking together properly when the third micro adjustment hole is in use. Hopefully they can rework this in future revisions of this watch. It looks great and feels durable though, which is of primary importance. The standard version of this Depth Charge diver comes in with a diameter of 41mm, a thickness of 13.4mm, and a lug-to-lug of 48mm, making it a good fit for those with average wrist sizes around the 17 to 19cm mark. It is to be noted that if you have particularly large wrists, they just released a 43mm limited edition version at a slightly higher price point. Both options appear to be identical otherwise, so the majority of points from here out remain valid. Case finishing on my unit was great, though not as outstanding as something like a San Martin, who offer crazy accurate brushing for the money. Who knows. Still, this Depth Charge is easily competitive with the likes of Seiko and Orient in this department, perhaps being slightly better, which is all you can really ask for. This extends to the ceramic bezel too, which has decent alignment and well-machined notches that make rotations easy. Similar can be said about the screw-down crown, which functions exactly as you'd expect it to, with user-friendly deep grooves that enable easy turning and winding. Though there is a ghost position to be aware of due to the movement selection. Yes, within is the venerable Seiko NH35, which facilitates hacking and hand winding, as well as typically a date complication, which this model forgoes. Hence the ghost position. Personally, I prefer this, as I like the symmetry that no date watches enable. Though partially it's because I'm too lazy to fiddle with dates, as I'm not one to wear automatic watches every single day, at least not the same one due to the nature of my job. Nevertheless, as mentioned in the roundup video, I really enjoy the aesthetics of this watch, with its chunky arrow hour hand and double marker at the 12th position. It certainly has a touch of Rolex Submariner thrown in there, but does enough to forge its own identity when combined with a slightly different case shape. I'm a big fan of all three available colorways, which each look great on video. The green version in particular looks miles better than some of the color inaccurate stock images that also lack the correct level of exposure. All the indexes are applied, and together with the hands, they exude an extremely strong luminescent glow in dark conditions, helping the watch remain highly legible. You'll notice that the tone of the rectangular markers is more in sync with the handset, with a brighter bluer tone when compared to that radiating from the circular indices. It's interesting and doesn't hurt the readability. I'll leave it up to you whether or not you like the Depth Charge name or logo. Personally, I don't mind it whatsoever. I think the brand name's great actually, the logo's okay, they perhaps could have come up with something that better referenced the whole idea of the Depth Charge like explosion or something, though this first iteration doesn't really detract from the watch. The accuracy of the ink sections is reasonable. They'll notice some cosmetic imperfections on the sapphire glass text, which aren't visible outside of macro distances, but do indicate that this is no luxury watch. Nevertheless, for just over £100, I wasn't expecting anything like luxury quality, and in many regards, this watch over-delivered. So much so that the price of this one has since been bumped up. When I bought mine, the regular price was £143, and I used the time-limited code to take it down to the lower figure. The base price was quickly bumped up to £179, which is a notable increase in cost. Perhaps this was some form of penetrative pricing strategy to test the waters or to get the brand off the ground, who knows. At the full £179, I think it's still a solid watch. Not quite the exceptional value that it was previously, but fair nonetheless. If you're cheap like me and you're willing to wait, it might be worth holding out for some of those discount codes that crop up on the site. For instance, at the time of recording this one, the bigger versions of this watch have 25% off, but those are more expensive to begin with anyway. That being said, I have occasionally seen some of those same discount codes with these smaller models. I guess you'll just have to keep an eye on it for yourself. The main caveat with this piece is international availability. If you reside outside of the UK, I'm unsure how much extra it might set you back, given WatchShop only tends to operate on home soil. If you want to check for yourself, I'll affiliate link it in the video description. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time.